To the Middle East now, where large explosions have hit the base of an Iraqi militia south of Baghdad. Authorities say at least one person was killed and several are injured. It is unclear what caused the blast. The base belongs to a coalition of Iran-linked groups called the Popular Mobilization Forces. Militia officials say the blasts were caused by an airstrike. The United States has denied involvement in the attack. For more on this, let's cross over to Simon Maban, Middle East analyst at Lancaster University. Greetings, Simon. Lots of questions surrounding those explosions near Baghdad. They're being called an airstrike, but the U.S. is saying it wasn't us. What do you make of this?
Thank you for having me again. It looks like an airstrike. It looks like the sort of thing that has been conducted more and more in recent days. Chances are we know where it's come from. We know that it's not the United States, which is incredibly unwilling to escalate this precarious situation any further. We know that Israel has struck a number of different targets in recent days in an attempt to try and curtail Iranian gains that they've been trying to make in the past week or so. This is all part of a much bigger strategic game between Israel and Iran, and it's the latest incarnation of that increasingly fraught and hostile rivalry.
And Simon, what about the drone attack on Isfahan in Iran, which is widely being attributed to Israel? Iran's been careful not to directly attribute the attack to Israel, and the foreign minister reportedly compared attacking drones to toys. Is the caution in Tehran's rhetoric something you expect?
Well, what they're trying to do, and I think all of the parties that are involved in this are trying to spin the outcome of particular events in the most positive way for them. This is as much about strategic narratives, about messaging, and about claiming victory in a sort of PR struggle as much as the physical, direct military strikes that are taking place. It's about telling the narrative that you are emerging from something in a stronger position. We saw the Iranians doing that after they struck Israel last week, or indeed their targets weren't hit. We saw the Israelis doing it after they thwarted the Iranian attack. And now we see the Iranians doing it without blaming Israel, but suggesting that they are still standing in the face of a childish attack, a feeble attack, as some have put it.
We only have half a minute, but I am curious, what's your sense of how Israel is managing the threat of escalation with Iran and its proxies?
It's a really complex one. It doesn't necessarily want to escalate in light of having to deal with an incredibly devastating situation in Gaza. It knows that if it does escalate with Iran, it has to deal with Hezbollah, it has to deal with proxies and allies in Syria and in Iraq. It knows that that type of escalation in a new threshold would dramatically increase the possibility that Israel would face serious attacks on multiple fronts.
That's Simon Maban, Middle East analyst at Lancaster University. Many, many thanks, Simon.
Thank you.